Welcome to Storied Audio. Daniel was just passing by the restaurant, hands tucked into his jacket against the cold, when some quiet pull, made him glance through the window. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was the way her laugh used a sound when it drifted across rooms and found him without trying. Inside, under the soft amber lights, sat his girlfriend, Mia, and across from her, his best friend, Chris. Daniel slowed to a stop. At first, it didn't seem like anything. Two people talking. Familiar. Safe. But then Chris leaned forward, his expression too intense, his smile too practiced. Mia's shoulders stiffened. She shook her head, saying something Daniel couldn't hear. Chris reached across the table. Mia pulled back. Then, sharp and sudden, her hand struck his cheek. The sound didn't reach Daniel through glass, but he felt it anyway. Chris froze, stunned. Mia stood up immediately, her face flushed with anger and something else. Hurt, maybe, and grabbed her bag. She didn't look back as she walked out of frame. Daniel didn't move. He should have gone in, asked her what happened, asked either of them. But he didn't. Instead, something colder took hold. That night, Daniel didn't call Mia. He didn't text her either, even when her name lit up his phone once, then twice, then stopped. Instead, he sat in the dim glow of his apartment, staring at his laptop, investigating. It felt wrong. It felt like crossing a line he'd never imagined crossing. But the image replayed in his mind, the tension, the slap, the look on her face. He needed to know. It didn't take long. Chris had never been careful. His messages were still there, buried in shared threads, old group chats, even comments that meant nothing at the time. Until now, you deserve better. He doesn't see you the way I do. If things were different, and in more recent ones, direct, bold, unmistakable, I can treat you the way he should. Just give me a chance. Daniel's chest tightened as he scrolled. Mia's replies were there too. Shorter, softer. Sometimes she deflected. Sometimes she laughed it off. And sometimes she didn't shut it down as firmly as he wished she had. His stomach sank. The next day, Daniel found Chris before he could find the courage to change his mind. "Hey," Chris said, like nothing had happened, like they were still just friends meeting up. Daniel didn't waste time. "I saw you," he said, "at the restaurant with Mia." Chris hesitated, just for a second. Then he exhaled. "Yeah, I figured you might. You've been texting her." It wasn't a question. Chris rubbed the back of his neck. "Look, man, I didn't plan for it to. You like her." This time, Chris didn't deny it. "Yeah," he said quietly. "I do." The honesty hit harder than any lie could have. I think I'd be better for her," Chris continued, his voice gaining a strange confidence. "I mean, you've been distant lately. You don't even see how." Daniel didn't let him finish. His fist connected before he could think. Chris stumbled back, shock written across his face as he held his jaw. "Don't," Daniel said, his voice shaking now, anger barely containing something deeper. "Don't ever talk to her again. Or me." Chris didn't argue. He just nodded, eyes lowered, and stepped back. And just like that, years of friendship ended in silence. When Daniel told Mia, she didn't speak at first. They were sitting across from each other in his apartment now. The same place that once felt warm, safe, theirs. Now it felt fragile. "I confronted him," Daniel said. "I know about the messages. Everything." Mia's eyes filled instantly. "I punched him," he added, quieter now. "And I told him to stay away." She covered her mouth, tears spilling over. "I'm sorry," she whispered. The words came out broken, like they'd been trapped inside her. "I'm so sorry." Daniel swallowed, his chest tightening again. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't think it would go that far," she said, shaking her head, her voice trembling. "At first, it was just stupid. Light. I thought I was being harmless." She looked up at him, her eyes red, desperate. "I might have flirted a little," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I didn't mean anything by it. I swear, I love you." The last words cracked. "I should have shut it down sooner," she continued, tears falling freely now. "I should have told you. I didn't want to cause problems." And then it became a problem. Daniel looked at her, really looked at her. The guilt, the regret, the way her hand shook as she reached for him but stopped halfway, like she wasn't sure she had to write anymore. I slapped him because he wouldn't stop, she said. He kept pushing, saying things about you, about us. I told him no. I told him it wasn't going to happen. Her voice broke again. I messed up, she said. But I didn't betray you. Not like that. Silence filled the room. Heavy, uncertain. Daniel exhaled slowly, running a hand through his hair. You hurt me, he said. I know, she whispered. And I should have talked to you first, he added. Instead of all this. She nodded, tears still falling. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this, she said. If you'll let me. For a long moment, he didn't answer. Then, slowly, he reached for her hand. It was hesitant, careful, but it was something. We fix it together, he said quietly. Or not at all. She squeezed his hand, holding on like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. Chris moved away a week later. No goodbye, no closure, just distance. And for Daniel and Mia, things weren't suddenly perfect. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. But they talked more. They listened more. And little by little, they tried. Because sometimes love isn't about never breaking. It's about choosing, every day after, to put the pieces back together. Subscribe to the channel for more audio stories.